Hello and welcome back to my videos. I'm Klepik and today I will be asking you questions about your characters in the hopes that you will answer back to me, even though I'm just a pink thing floating on your screen. Most of these questions I got while I was just out and about doing random things and they just popped into my head, so some of these might be like really out of the blue, but I tried my best to organize them, so give me some slack. Now, here's how this will go. I will ask pretty basic questions to start off with, and then we will progressively get more nitty-gritty and absurd as we go. I will also be answering the questions alongside you in case you need some help answering or you don't really know where to start when answering the questions. And also just so I can force you to listen to me info dump on my characters, please don't click off, let me info dump, please. Yes, you're staying. Thank you. Here are my characters, by the way, just so you have a visual of who is who when I'm speaking about them. Arya, Deja, Frasier, Bo, and Dottie, or also known as Lottie. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. 1. Favorite color. Arya's is purple, so is Deja's. Frasier doesn't have one. Bo's favorite color is green, and Dottie's favorite color is drunk tank pink, or some other really outrageous color name. 2. Favorite food or go-to food. Arya definitely loves smoothies, milkshakes, protein shakes, or any thick drink. It's like an on-the-go meal for her, so she can eat it anytime while working on something else like her music and still be focused. Deja, I haven't exactly decided on her favorite food yet, but definitely something with a lot of carbs, something with bread. She values energy and loves to feel energized so she can feel good when she dances, and carbs are what gives you energy, so she would definitely love something bready. I hate to say this as a vegetarian who usually thinks of their characters as vegetarian too, but Bo would definitely enjoy a good steak. Frasier has no opinions on what he eats, so whatever Dottie wants, and Dottie cannot physically eat, so no favorite food for them. 3. What kind of music do they listen to? Arya listens to absolutely everything under the sun to get inspiration for her own music. Deja listens to Arya's music. Frasier listens to pop music to see if he can talk to anyone about it, and Bo actually listens to a lot of jazz around the house when doing chores and such. And then Dottie listens to old classics, mostly from the 50s and before. 4. What are their religions or religious practices? Are they religious at all? I don't see any of my characters as very religious. They may pray every now and then maybe, but I mostly included this in case you want to explore that with your own characters. Dottie maybe used to be much more religious and go to church every Sunday, but not anymore. Not anymore. 5. What's their biggest fear? Arya's biggest fear is not having time to make music, or not being able to make music anymore, or maybe going deaf, because that would really hinder her lifelong passion. So Deja's biggest fear is going back to her past. Frasier can't fear. He has no personality, physically has no personality, emotions, or anything really. Bo's biggest fear is not being able to help his family at all or losing his family. And then Dottie's biggest fear is working or lobotomies. 6. Are they addicted to anything? Arya's addicted to making music, but that isn't an actual addiction. I don't think Deja, Frasier, or Dottie are addicted to anything. Bo is a recovering cigarette addict though, and Frasier has smoked in the past, but it didn't do anything for him. Actually, unscripted, Frasier has tried everything under the sun, and nothing has given him an emotion. So he's never been addicted, but he has tried like everything under the sun. Let's go more into their personality. 7. What's a big character flaw in your character? Arya's biggest character flaw is always choosing music over those around her. Deja's biggest character flaw is probably her pride that she carries from her past. Frasier's biggest character flaw is the fact that he cannot feel emotions. Kind of, doesn't leave a lot of good room for character traits if he can't have a character trait at all, you know? Bo's biggest character flaw is the guilt he carries in leaving his family, or maybe that he puts others before himself in protecting them. Dottie's biggest character flaw is that they can't accept people need to work and sometimes need to be finkish squares to make it through life. 8. Are they good with kids? If they are a kid, how do they act with other kids? Arya can be very responsible, so I'd say that she is good with kids. Deja's not going to entertain, but she can look over kids. Frasier, he'll keep them out of trouble. They'll probably be bored to death or tackling him like a football player because he's so boring, but he'll look after them. Bo is the best person you could ever possibly leave your kids with. Go to that man if you need a babysitter. He's got you covered. Dottie would entertain. They probably wouldn't come back in one piece, however. 9. How do they act with servers and cashiers? Everyone besides Dottie tips handsomely. Dottie doesn't, just because they think everything's way too expensive these days, and they also don't like finkish squares, aka people who work, aka quite literally almost every adult. I also think they're all pretty polite to them. Deja and Frasier probably way less talkative, but not outright mean. 10. Would they attend protests? With her noise-canceling headphones and her laptop, yes, Arya would. Deja would if Arya wanted to go, otherwise probably not, unless she felt incredibly strong about the issue. Frasier would so he could talk to people. Bo definitely would, I think. He would also use his platform to speak out, I think, since he's like a world-renowned celebrity, and Dottie would get kicked out for being a nuisance. Even if they were genuinely trying to protest and show their support would be a little too rowdy for, like, the general public. 11. Are they cookers or bakers? Are they good at either? Arya is neither. She orders food. Deja is much more of a baker than a cook, but she can definitely cook as well. Frasier can cook, but he isn't great at it. Bo is an awesome cook, but don't ever let him bake. Don't ever let him bake. Dottie, in canon, in the video game that I am working on, almost sets your house on fire when making you breakfast. Don't let someone who can't eat try to make your breakfast. 12. Do they have any superstitions or lucky items? Frasier has trauma with a Ouija board. Trauma he can't feel, but like it has its effects, but we're moving on. Mysterious, mystery behind my character. 12 and a half actually, because I messed up counting these. Do they have any hobbies? Arya lives for music, making it consume her every moment when she's not at her rave. Deja crochets, knits, and quilts in her free time, along with other miscellaneous hobbies that she finds interesting in the moment. Frasier follows whatever Dottie wants to do all day if he's not driving around in his taxi as an Uber driver. Bo enjoys reading a lot. And then Dottie collects antiques. Let's move on to their physical appearance and what that might say about them. 13. What are their hands like? Rough, warm, soft, etc., etc. Arya has pretty average hands. The most strain they get is constantly working on laptops, computers, and gadgets to make music. They might be a slight bit rough from guitar, though, possibly. She might also have a slight bit of carpal tunnel, now that I'm thinking about it. She has cool hands, as in temperature. Deja has nice hands. She dances a lot, which doesn't really mess up your hands, and I think she does just have, like, nice hands for some reason. She also has cool hands, I think. Frasier has hands. He does random things a lot, so they might be a little worn. Very lukewarm hands, maybe a little cold, maybe? Not cool, cold. Bo plays guitar a lot, so his hands are pretty rough, as well as drums. He has pretty warm hands, though. Dottie is made of porcelain, so very smooth, and they usually run cold, but can heat their hands up pretty hot for a while if they put them in boiling water or something. Which they can do, by the way. They can put their hands in boiling water and be like, hey guys! 14. What's their makeup or skincare routine? Do they care at all? Arya cares when she has to go out. She wears a lot of bold makeup, some probably to cover up her eye bags. She mostly does skincare before she goes out, otherwise she doesn't care. Deja does her skincare daily and wears less covering makeup like foundation than Arya, but definitely has just as bold makeup as hers. Can you guys tell I love bold makeup? Frasier washes his face daily, but I wouldn't say he necessarily has good or bad skincare. He also wears black lipstick. Beau has the best skincare and hair care. He is a skincare king, and Dottie is porcelain. Dottie's porcelain. Here is like a mini subsection of questions, but how do they dress? I know we all have like one go-to outfit for our characters, but outside of that, how do they dress? So question 15, pajamas. Arya and Deja have basic matching pajamas because Arya wanted to match, but Deja didn't want to wear frills to bed. Frasier sleeps in whatever's convenient, probably in jeans a lot because he's like an actual freak. Beau sleeps in pajama pants, and I don't think Dottie sleeps unless they like want to, like for fun, but they don't ever actually dream or anything. Like they can lay down and close their eyes, but nothing's gonna happen. 16. How about casual wear? Arya still dresses skimpy on the casual, probably a lot of loose crop tops that are probably also pretty see-through. Deja wears frills in casual settings, like lace and such, which I think is really cute. Frasier is a poser and wears whatever is trending to maybe spark a conversation with somebody, and I am just now realizing Frasier would be a performative male. He would wear a lububu, he would have matcha, he would have his like performative feminist book, he would have his like he wouldn't have fake intellectual speak, but he would have that matcha. He would have that matcha. Oh my god, no. Since Beau is a world-renowned celebrity, he has to dress really goofy to keep the paparazzi away, like huge hoodies, sunglasses, masks, the whole thing. Dottie wears one thing only, and I don't think they actually change clothes. Stinky. 17. Formal events. Red bodycon dress, Arya. Yes. Deja probably has a couple flowy dresses to pull out for formal events, probably a lot of frills or lace, and longer than Arya's. I also think they'd be a light purple like her usual attire as well, or maybe black. Frasier would wear the most basic tuxedo you could ever imagine. Beau has a red or velvet colored tuxedo for formal events, but he probably also has like 50 other colors because he's a celebrity and probably goes out a lot. Dottie would not go to a formal event, or they would be kicked out the second they caused ruckus on purpose. 18. On a date. Arya would be extra skimpy. Probably a tight dress, tighter than usual if it's a more formal date, or something flashy if not. Maybe extra jewelry as well. She doesn't really wear jewelry in her regular outfit, but I could see her wearing extra if she's on a date. Frasier would wear a black button-down that is sadly buttoned all the way up to the neck, and black pants and black shoes and black accessories, if he even wears accessories at all. He might slick his hair back and take his hat off too, and so, hey, wait, maybe I need to draw that. Wait, I think I need to draw that actually. Beau would wear this. I went hunting on Pinterest, an idea for you to try as well when looking for outfits. And then lastly, Dottie doesn't date. 19. Work. All their usual outfits are the ones that are used for work. Yours might not be, so have fun answering that question. 20. Why do your characters have the haircut that they have? They chose to have their hair like that, so what's the reason behind it? Arya doesn't think she'd look good with short hair. The upkeep is annoying, however, so it's often really frizzy when she's at home. Deja thought the hair looked pretty and wanted to let her hair be free to flow after having to keep it tight in a bun for so long to do ballet. Frasier doesn't really care about his hair. He just kind of let it stay the same as it was in middle school. Beau really likes his hair long and enjoys having the most luxurious hair anyone could ever achieve. And then lastly, Dottie's bald. Dottie is bald. Let's move on to habits and miscellaneous questions that I couldn't for the life of me find a place for. 21. What kind of drunks are they? Arya would be a happy, affectionate drunk. Deja tends to let her walls down a little once she starts drinking. She's still stoic. She'll talk to you more than she usually does and maybe let you in on a secret or two. Frasier doesn't really change emotionally from drinking besides slurring his words until he blacks out from too many. Depending on the situation, Bo would either become really relaxed or really emotionally sad when drinking. Dottie always acts as if they've had too many drinks, even when they quite literally cannot drink. 22. How do they sit? Arya sits cross-legged, I think. Deja sits with one leg over the other. Frasier sits with both legs on the ground completely straight. Bo probably crosses one leg over the other, but like the kind that guys do, to where like their ankle rests on their knee. Dottie's a loose cannon of poses. 23. How do they sleep? Arya doesn't get much sleep. She mostly falls asleep at her desk when working on a piece of music, then wakes up and works on it immediately after. Deja sleeps awesome. Her whole bed is quite literally tailored to her and stuff that she's made from crochet, knitting, quilting, you name it. She sleeps awesome. Frasier, I think, is the lightest sleeper you will ever know. You'll think he's out like a log, but then call his name once and he's up and at him. Bo, I think, is a heavy sleeper, and Dottie doesn't sleep. 24. How do they stand? Arya, my confident queen, stands confident and queen-like. So does Deja, because they're both confident queens and I love them. Arya, I think, leans to the sides a lot when standing, like putting more weight on one foot than the other. Deja crosses her arms a lot when she stands. Frasier stands like a rigid stick. Bo crosses his arms a lot when he stands like Deja, but I think in a more relaxed way than her. Dottie is always bouncing off the walls, never staying still, but they are a 7-foot clown, so let's just say when they stand, it might be a little intimidating. 25. How do they eat their pizza? What kind and how much of it do they eat? Arya takes whatever she can get the quickest. She probably folds her pizza in half when she eats it too because she can eat it quicker that way and get back to working. Arya probably likes fast food pizza. I don't think Deja's a fan of grease. I feel like Deja would like bougie pizza, like the fancy kind with like 5 different kinds of leaves on it. Frasier has no opinion on the matter. Food is just fuel, but Lottie usually tries to make him eat the weirdest things they can possibly find, so he probably usually eats really gross pizza, like pineapple on pizza. Disgusting. Let's move on to more abstract questions. 26. If you had to assign an object to their character, what would it be? Arya would be a pair of headphones, always blasting music with style. Deja would be a spotlight, since she's always been under the spotlight with her dancing. Frasier would be a rock slab. Bo would either be a microphone or just a thick head of hair, but like minus the head. His hair is luxurious. It would just be like a thick mane of hair that like morphs around an invisible head. And Dottie would be an antique doll. 27. What animal would they be? Arya would be a fox. Deja would either be a rabbit or a deer/gazelle since they're elegant. Bo would be a lion. Frasier would be a wolf because that's the furry that everyone picks their OC to be. No hate, it's just a fact. It's like a statistical fact. I think I watched a video where they like actually proved that wolf furries are the most common furry. I had a wolf furry, so literally no hate. And then Dottie would be a unicorn. 28. Let's get specific. What dog would they be? Arya would be an Afghan hound, and Deja would be a chow chow. Frasier would be a black lab. Bo would be a Burmese mountain dog or a German shepherd, and Dottie would be a Great Dane. Great! So now you know how to draw them as furries and as a dog if they weren't already. 29. What's the first thing that comes to mind of something that they like? The absolute first thing, like pop in your head right now. Arya loves music. Deja loves dancing. Frasier loves nothing, but he does want to be able to feel emotions again, so there's that. Bo loves his family, and Dottie loves antiques. 30. What would they be as ice cream flavors? Arya would be a dreamsicle. Deja would be black forest ice cream, which I really want to try actually. I've never tried it before. Frasier would be vanilla. Bo would be Rocky Road. And Dottie would be pistachio or mint chocolate chip. Let's move on to the final section, breaking the fourth wall. How would they react to you, the creator, introducing yourself as their creator to them? Arya would give me a big hug and talk to me a lot. I haven't given her much trauma. The fact that I'm her creator and that she has a creator would probably send her into a writing spiral, and she'd have an album done by the end of the week. Deja would not be happy with me. Frasier would break my heart and ask why I got rid of his emotions. He would ask how to find them again, and I would say I don't know. Ouch. Bo would have a long talk with me. He would be hurt that I made him leave his family, and I would cry buckets. Dude. But he'd understand. Maybe he'll be happy I at least gave him a loving family when he hears about what y'all do to your own OC's families. Dottie would strangle me to death in a fit of rage for what I've put them through. Honestly, deserved. I am so sorry, Lottie. I'm so sorry. You did not deserve that. 32. How would they react to their original designs? Arya would gulp and say she needs to fix her ugly ass fashion and get rid of those Naruto ass marks on her face. No, I will not be showing their original designs. Deja would be chill with it in a way, just a little lost on why she's wearing a bunny girl outfit, but it's a rave adjacent enough outfit that she wouldn't really care. Frasier would call him colorful. Bo would smile uncomfortably at the twink that he was, but he would try his best to be friendly, and Dottie would get along great with their former freak, since they're still a freak. Oh my god, we actually did it. We got through all the questions. I cannot believe it. Before you go, wait, please don't leave me yet. Wait, give me a second, give me one more second of your attention. Awesome, I still have your attention, you're still here, thank you. I want to explain the speed paints I've been working on during this video. So first we have Bo's speed paint. For all of these, I wanted to explore the complexity of their characters, which I thought went well with the idea of this video, because this video is all about getting to know your OCs past the surface level, their quirks, their habits, etc. I never really get to draw Bo with his family. I actually never have, despite it being such a big part of him and his story. I mostly draw him shirtless instead. I can't even deny that, but that's besides the point. So for this piece, I want to draw both sides of him, Popstar and Bo. So on the left, we have Bo with his little sister Anais, and on the right, we have Popstar, which shows both parts of him. The down-to-earth family guy and the absolute metal thing. Next, we have Deja's drawing. I mostly depict Deja as a cold, confident dancer. I never go into actually how she's just a woman who lost her childhood to dance. So on the left, we have her usual confident dancing, but on the right, we have her much more relaxed. She's in bed, knitting, and delving into new hobbies that she never got to explore as a kid in her now super whimsical bedroom that she also didn't get to have as a kid. Lastly, we have Arya. On the left, we have her at the rave, confident, social, and the absolute life of the party that just lights up the rave. But on the right, we have her at home, pumping out song after song, neglecting herself and her needs. Arya thrives off being social. So when she's at home alone, she obviously does not do well. I've explored this theme the most since it is essentially her character boiled down, but it was still fun to draw. Did you enjoy me suckering you into watching like 20 minutes of me yapping about my characters? Huh? Well, it is finally over and I can finally rest my voice after this absolutely insane script. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm currently trying to grow my YouTube channel, so do be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to make me a very happy yapper. Thank you so much for your support of my videos. It really does mean a lot to me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you next time, and goodbye!